Order here. I'm going to go ahead and call the meeting order. Start with the Pledge of Allegiance. And to the republic for which it stands, one nation. Yeah.
Liberty and justice for all.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We got BJ today.
Yes, sir.
For the minutes, do we know who everybody is? Yep. Okay. So let's go ahead and ask for approval of the agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll second that.
Been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
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 Motion carries. Next is approval of minutes of 7/29/2020.
I'd make a motion to approve the minutes as presented from 7/29/2020.
I'll second it.
Been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Motion carries. Now we have the approval of claims for payment of 8/5/2020.
Make a motion to approve the August 5th, 2020 claims for payment.
Lance, I would second that motion.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Motion carries. I have 9:01. I'm going to go ahead and open the public hearing on the road reclassification portion of GG Avenue. Want to talk about it?
Sure. So this has been coming. This is our new road that we built last year to circumvent $500,000 bridge replacement. So, did this for about 50 grand. So we thought it was a good trade-off. And all the landowners knew going in that our plan was to make this a level C road. So there was no complaints or any comments on it. I'd recommend to move forward with making it a level C road.
Okay. Any public comments? Go ahead and open it up for the public. If there are any questions, anybody could be on.
Lance,
Yeah, go ahead. Donna?
this is GG Avenue and what crossroad?
180th. So it is a dead end off of 180th.
Okay, thank you.
Are there any other public comments? Hearing no other public comments, I could take a motion to close the public hearing.
Lance, I would make a motion to close the public hearing.
I'll second it.
Been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Roll call.
BJ.
Aye.
I didn't hear my name, but I'll say aye.
Lance.
Aye. Next we have is the resolution for reduced level of maintenance area service road.
Lance, I would make a motion to approve the resolution for reduced level of maintenance to area service C road.
I'll second it. I'll second it. Can you hear me?
We got you.
Okay.
Any discussion?
Aye.
Aye.
I haven't called for the vote yet.
Oh.
Well,
Roll call.
BJ.
aye.
Renee.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Now we have is utility permits. I did not have a utility.
Yep, I got plenty to talk about today. We'll see if they can still hear us. BJ and Renee, can you still hear me pretty well?
Yeah,
I
until the
can.
horn comes around my way.
Oh, we'll start with the easy stuff, then maybe it'll be done. We paid off the last one. just gave me the check for the X Avenue Bridge, so that has been paid. Released them of liability, and they've also released us of liability going forward, so. All right, siren's still going.
And I have to say the volume or it's cutting in and out. I haven't heard a lot of what Taylor said. I don't know if it is for anyone else that's zooming in. Oh, good grief. How long does that thing go?
How the bike get closer to it? Siren, yeah, all right.
Why don't we give it a minute before we move forward and wait for the siren? Okay,
All
let's.
right, I'll just start from the top. So all of secondary roads' loans are paid off. We own all our equipment now. Nice. X Avenue Bridge, they released us of all liability, and we've also released them of all liability. We will move on to the Iowa Falls detour that's going on right now. That's so the detour that I recommended to them was to come south and just use our county road. So that's creating a lot of extra traffic on the gravel road for the people that are trying to. Been 2 full days of it, and our road is almost powder already, so all that new rock we've put down is wasted. So I had a citizen ask me if we can embargo, and that would be my recommendation. If you guys have a big problem with it, we will probably try to force the trucks to stay on the pavement. The embargo does have exemptions if I want to grant them, like, you know, if a local guy lives on the road, that's fine, but I don't think we need every truck on its way to Flint Hills to be on our gravel road. They have been taking 150th just south of Iowa Falls to JJ.
Okay.
And then that snakes you back up there.
Okay. What do you two feel on that?
Lance, this is BJ. I would agree with Taylor, and I think we've got to do what we can to preserve our infrastructure. And I think part of the preservation needs to be good education and, you know, putting out the information at Flint Hills and Cargill, and informing those drivers delivering that alternate means are going to need to be made.
I also agree.
So you know where you're going on that one.
Yes.
And you have the authority, so.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. We don't need all our rock to just be wasted like
Right. Right.
How long is that detour going to be in effect, do you think?
that. And they said mid-October, so.
Mid-October?
Yeah.
Okay.
So in 2 days, it's, you know, been destroyed, so I don't think we can handle
No,
2 months of that.
I agree.
So, yeah, and we do not, you know, all that traffic coming from Flint Hills, and you know, that's where the city has played with the city limits so that they get all the benefit. So from Flint Hills every year, we get $2,200, but if the city would never done that, we'd be getting $42,000. So just throwing that out there that, you know, we don't really get the benefit of Flint Hills. We're just
Right.
helping to get there. Closure.
Hang on.
At least 150th Street off of 65 would be embargoed, but oh, I know the truckers, they just take the next chance. It could be every gravel road on that stretch.
Well, I guess play by ear on that one.
Yes. So it would take a couple days to put up permanent signs. So I said for a temporary one, we'll do it on 150th.
Okay. Limit sign does affect some people.
Yeah.
I guess the concern I have is, I know it's tough to slow down a little bit and lose a couple of minutes. We have to keep working on our,
Correct.
but also that being said, with the Gifford Bridge out, I know you and I have talked, but I want these two. So, when we go to that next stretch on the Witten Blacktop, that will make people drive through Witten, back around almost to Union to get back to the pavement. They want to stay on pavement.
Correct.
Back to the corner where,
Correct.
yeah. So I'm asking that off until the bridge is open, that stretch open. And I want to hear from Renee and BJ. Taylor, you give your remarks.
Yes, so I have a timeline for the stretch that's currently closed. We need about patching and they still have tile crossing. They've already replaced 5 culverts on that road. The culvert areas.
We've muted BJ temporarily because it's his microphone that's causing all the feedback here.
Okay.
All right. So when the stretch does open, there will still be some spots that aren't patched because we're letting the culverts settle. So we'll come back and do those later under traffic. But so the parts that we're patching now are the parts that were completely obliterated, very quickly. And Greg and I have had the conversation that this road being closed is more of a benefit to people because we're actually doing something, whereas it would have been closed for nothing from being pulverized. So we feel like we're getting something done in this 2 months that has been closed. So we can't complain. We haven't been dragging our feet. They've been out there working 40 hours a week. But yes, then I also have them moving the stretch to the north. That's our next step, is to go those 2 miles to the north and patch and replace 2 culverts on there as well.
It's just 2 culverts.
Yes, but there are areas where the concrete has exploded that need done too.
Is there a time frame rough?
To get that done,
Yeah,
a couple weeks,
2 weeks.
probably 2 to 3 weeks again.
What happens if we had the guys work overtime to get them, if that's what you want,
Yeah, that could happen
to speed up the process a little bit?
a little bit. I mean, a day a week, but still. But I'm not as concerned about that one because I don't feel like that detour is too bad, but some people might feel differently.
Well, I was just pointing out the fact that with Highway 14 closed, that is the pavement. It's not the detour, but it is a detour. And then with the bridge being cut off there in Gifford, the next closest one's S55.
Yep.
So I was just bringing that to attention. And like I say, Taylor and I have talked about this, but I want Renee and BJ to chime in.
I would have to say I missed a lot of the beginning part. It definitely helped when they muted BJ because now I can hear everything, where all I've been catching is just very bits and pieces. So what was the original proposal from Taylor?
Left on that stretch that's closed, and then Lance wants to wait to move on to the next stretch until the Gifford Bridge is open, which is probably 4 to 5 weeks out. So we're kind of debating what to do in that next 2 weeks. Do we just, move to the mile that's right over, or do we go move somewhere else and come back?
It's inefficient.
Yes, it'd be very inefficient, but like Lance said, it would possibly make some people happy. Speed limit is not going away. We will be keeping it at 35.
Okay.
So unless he's directed to, otherwise he's gonna continue on with what his plan, which is going to the next 2 miles.
And it depends on timing. I mean, if it all works out good, then that's fine, but I doubt, nothing ever seems to work out hunky-dory.
So,
I'd rather see it be more efficient and get it done and then opened up. No.
BJ?
I would prefer the efficiency. Maybe it's something if we don't have to move the equipment. I know there was some ditch clean out that was being proposed in the area. Maybe we switch to ditch clean out rather than culvert and cement repair.
It's a thought.
Okay.
So,
Well, we'll give Taylor something to think about on this.
yeah, I mean,
2 weeks.
we got a couple weeks before this would happen anyway.
Have a better plan.
Yeah, we'll know more. We can talk about it next week too.
Okay.
And I agree with the efficiency, don't get me wrong, but I also try to accommodate people as they get to work all these shut down. And but one thing I do want to point out is I believe we want these culverts paving in 2 years. We want that ground freezing and thawing to get that all put in place
Correct.
for the longevity of the road.
Yes. Yep, those culverts have been there for 50 years or more. More, I judge by looking at them, but I don't know.
So, okay, well, something to bring back to us next week.
Yep.
Anything else for secondary roads?
And just the steamboat thing next.
Okay, next we have is a resolution for the road vacation on the public hearing to set a time and date. Streets and alleys outside Steamboat Rock. Taylor, give me
Yep.
your opinion.
Joe and I are recommending on delaying this a week, so we'd recommend you table. We just want to make, we got this on Monday. It's kind of hard to just assume that we'd have it ready in 2 days, so Joe's kind of like, can we off a week? That way he can make sure it's all worded correctly. So we just have to put it off a week.
So that being said, I could entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to table this for another week.
I'll second that.
Been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Motion carries. Now I have is a change of status and zoning adjustment board membership with the new laws that came into effect. We have members that are no longer be on there. They have been notified. Less rash. Off, and we need to.
You're breaking up.
So Les Rash is the one that does not qualify anymore. He has been notified, and we need to remove him from the zoning adjustment board due to the new state laws. But so I would need that motion, and then that will leave a vacancy for us to try to fill.
Okay, well, I will make a motion to remove Les Rash from the zoning adjustment board at this time.
I'll second that.
Been moved and seconded. Any discussion? His term ends 12/31 of 23. Fill that vacancy. That would be the vacancy we'd need to fill. It only due to the fact that the state made a new law. It no longer qualifies.
Right.
Any other discussion? Hearing no more, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Next I have is tax ad orders for 2019 payable 2021. I have
You're breaking up. I didn't hear that.
the tax ad orders of 2019 payable 2021. I have 4 of these.
Right, okay. I would make a motion to approve the tax orders for 2019 payable year fiscal year 2021.
I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Roll call.
Renee,
Aye.
Jay,
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Now I have is a change of status at the conservation.
Lance, I'd make a motion to approve the change of status of the Conservation Department of Bridger Lawrence, who is a temporary seasonal worker. His end of seasonal employment is effective August 4th, 2020.
I will second it.
Been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Now I have 2 change of status for the sheriff's office.
Lance, I'd make a motion to approve the hiring of Eric Knott as a correctional officer, permanent part-time at the sheriff's office, effective August 17th, 2020, at the rate of $16.48 an hour.
I'll second that.
Seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Lance, I'd also make a motion on the hiring of permanent part-time correctional officer Tristan Muse, effective August 6th, 2020, at a rate of $16.48 an hour.
And I'll second that one.
Been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor say
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. We do not have Thomas here today. Is Rocky on by chance?
Rocky got on and Meg was on.
I don't have an update on COVID. Before I go to public comments, or Renee, do you have anything?
No, there's really no change from last week. Again, our meeting was pretty short, this past Monday. So there really is no other updates or
Okay.
change at this time.
I will give a short update. I've contacted a few of the mayors, probably half of the mayors. They were going to get back to their city councils as far as masks go and get back to us. I'll still try to reach out to some other mayors so that they still have time to contact their city councils as well. Let's go to public comments.
Lance, this is Donna.
Donna, go ahead.
Considering the state of Iowa is part of the federal red zone and the fact that it is even broken down into counties, and there are 8 counties in Iowa specifically part of the red zone, Hardin being one of them. Considering the fact that there are cities passing throughout the state, passing mask mandates, considering the fact that there are school districts that are defying court orders for their schools, I would like to ask you to expedite this and do it as quickly as possible. Meetings with the mayors and city councils and the school districts, and make a plan. Obviously, there are many people throughout the state that feel some of these state plans are extremely lacking. And like I said, I would like our county, our board, quickly on this for the sake of our children, because it isn't just 18 and up anymore that are being affected. It is, in fact, our children whose case numbers are on the rise. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comments?
Yes, I do have one to, along with Donna on that. I've been watching our numbers in Hardin County. They are going up and up. We are still not wearing masks in Hardin County, which we did when this first broke out. My comment has been, I'm still being made fun of wearing my mask. My response back to people is, if you're in the hospital with COVID or back home with COVID, I want you to stop and think, Pauline wore the mask. She was a smart one. I guess I should have been wearing a mask too. And now here I'm at home or in the hospital and she's well. But besides that, I mean, there are more and more people. Our numbers are starting to, for the size of the county we are, our numbers are skyrocketing in Hardin County, and we're sitting like bumps on a log doing nothing. So what can or will you do to help this out? We have to do something. If that means defy the governor on stuff, that means we need to defy the governor, because otherwise you don't want us in the courthouse. So things are supposed to be opening up. So you don't want us in the courthouse. So why shouldn't we be allowed in the courthouse just as much as we're allowed every place else? So it's up to you. Made that decision. You three on the Board of Supervisors made that decision that the rest of us are not allowed in the courthouse. So why can't you make a decision on the rest of this? You're sitting back and not doing anything and letting more and more people get infected. You need to step up to the plate and do something. And may I ask, why is BJ and Renee at home? Are you guys sick with the COVID?
No, but I was out this last weekend, so I'm staying at home to make sure that I'm not passing it on to someone else. But I do not have it. I'm taking my temperature like I do every day, and today it was 96.0. So, but I'm just taking precautions.
But this is what I mean, you know, so here you have to take the precaution for this because you were out and about and somebody else, you know, did. This is what I mean. We can't even, we're taking risk anymore going to the grocery stores to, you know, to get our supplies to do anything. You guys have to step up.
Pauline,
Yes.
we have not kicked anybody out of the courthouse. It's by appointment only, and the purpose is to limit the amount of people in the courthouse at one time.
Yeah, but it's because of the COVID, right?
That is true, but we have not booted anybody out of the courthouse.
No, I know, but I mean, if the rest of the county is open to everything, then our courthouse should be open too.
But other places are limiting what they allow in their stores as well. But I just wanted to point out, you said we're shut down to the public. We are not.
Well, in a sense you are. You're not wide open like everybody, like, you know, everything else is in Hardin County.
No, that's a false statement too. Restaurants had to limit the amount of people they can have in. If I recall, Walmart has a counter out front. They limit the amount of people. It's based on floor space, if I recall. So if you want to make the statement, I just want you to make sure you're making it correctly. There are limitations that people are doing.
But I think you guys need to help. I mean, we're a small rural county. We don't have those big places, you know, that are doing that. So I guess I would like to see you guys actually step up to the plate to do something, so more
Okay.
people don't get infected. Thanks.
Thank you. Matt, before I forget, we talked about our temperature machines.
Correct. They're here. They arrived late yesterday afternoon, and Michael and I will be addressing those tomorrow.
Okay. Nope, sounds great. Any other public comments?
Yeah, Lance, this is Curt Groen.
Kurt, go ahead.
There's a lot of doctors being silenced that are coming out against wearing the mask. Legionnaire's disease is on the rise, but it's not being covered by the mainstream media. People are actually getting sick from wearing the mask because of the moisture, and they're bringing back Legionnaire's disease. It's being accounted as COVID until somebody actually starts a round of antibiotics, and it's pointed out that it could be the Legionnaires. But it's just one of those things that you can look all over on the internet, and there are doctors being silenced all the time because they're going against what WHO has made as a statement.
Okay, thank you.
It's not a conspiracy theory. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Were there any other public comments?
This is Michelle. I would just like to say something. We are open and we are servicing customers every day to the best of our ability. And I appreciate the fact that we are doing our due diligence. We are social distancing. We are only seeing as many customers that the social distancing allows. We are getting people serviced. People are being able to do what they need to do in this courthouse. And I really take offense to the point that was made that we're not open to the public. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments? From there, I would go to other business. One of the things in other business I should have pointed out, I'd like to thank Les for the time that he's put in on the zoning board of adjustments.
I agree.
And it's unfortunate that the state did that. I believe he was a good candidate that was on there. Any other business? Hearing none, I could ask for adjournment or recess.
I'd make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
Been moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. We're adjourned.